Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hi, I'm Erin. If you're returning, thanks for clicking on another video. And, for both groups, definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and just join into the family here on the channel as we get into all things beauty, movies, and books. So you'll find a mixture of those topics here on my channel. Those are just the things I like. It's kind of like a whole, lifestyle type of thing going on here where we talk entertainment as well as beauty. So today we're going to be getting into a Scream movie ranking, Scream franchise ranking, however you want to put it. And I'm going to be talking about all 5 of the movies now that we have the new one out. I went and saw the new one on the second day. I didn't go exactly on the release day, but I went that Friday. I think it came out Thursday or something like that. But I went that Friday to see it, and I already put my review up, my non-spoiler review. And so if you haven't seen that video, definitely go check that out. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and do my own ranking. I know everybody has been doing rankings of this. It's just apt time to do it. I mean, with the new movie out, it's time to update those thoughts on the movies and really revisit. And I think this franchise is one that is super duper solid. So this was quite hard, but I'm kind of solid with my ranking, and mine might be a little bit more controversial, or you might not agree with my list, but again, this is just my opinion. Let me know your ranking down below. It might be vastly different. So yeah, let me know if you have a different ranking down below in the comment section. Without further talking, let's go ahead and hop into the video. Before we get any further into the video, don't forget to hit that like button. But yes, like I said, I have my list here. I have it written down, and I'm going to just be talking because I didn't really write any notes or anything. But the Scream franchise was helmed by the great and late Wes Craven, and also the characters and script was written by Kevin Williamson, who let's hype him up as well. But yeah, such a solid franchise, and I think my list is one that might be a little, I guess, controversial in a sense. I don't know, and I kind of went back and forth, especially with my last two, but I was pretty solid on my top ones. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to work our way from the bottom up to number 1, and number 5 for me is going to be Scream 3. And the reason why, and I actually almost put this in the 4th place, but the reason why I put it as number 5 is just because I feel like even though I kind of like this movie a bit more than the one in 4th place, it's at 5th because I just feel like it's, of all the movies in the Scream franchise, it's the one that's not the least solid, basically, from the way it was made to the acting to the plot, everything. I just feel like it's the one with the least amount of cohesiveness, if that makes sense. I actually don't mind the killer reveal though. I think and obviously this is going to have spoilers. If you have not seen the movies in the Scream franchise, you shouldn't be watching this video. Probably go watch those movies first because they're all great. Like I said, solid franchise. Even for 5 movies in, none of them have been terrible. They're all good. I mean, even Scream 3 I find to be a very enjoyable movie. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, and again, spoilers coming. I actually enjoyed the killer reveal of Roman and kind of the backstory of how he kind of set everything in motion. I didn't mind it, but again, like I said, it's just there's a lot of things that you can nitpick about this movie, and I think that there are very solid criticisms of this movie. So that's why it's at the bottom of my list. But I do have a certain amount of nostalgia for this one, a certain amount of for this one, because again, I grew up watching this one as well as the earlier ones as well. I mean, I think most of us have, them being kind of staple 90s movies, and so I do enjoy Scream 3 a lot, but I have to admit it is the one that is kind of the not as solid, not as well made as the other films on this movie. I know that was also due to a lot of things behind the scenes as well, I believe. So not completely all the fault of the movie in reality, but yeah, it just, that's how it happens to be. And so my number 4 is going to be Scream 4, actually, which this is where I know a lot of people really like this one, and I almost put this one at number 5. I even scratched out, and switched 3 and 4 because I was thinking about it a little bit more, and I was like, Scream 4 is a better made movie. But for me, it just doesn't hold that big of an impact. the engagingness of it is very, very high. I think it's a very engaging movie. It's quite, it definitely holds your attention, but there's something about it that it just did not hit all the marks for me. And I know that's going to be a controversial opinion, maybe, or maybe a lot of people won't agree with that. I know a lot of people really, really love this one and enjoy like the killer reveal and the motivations, and I do really enjoy the motivation of the killer in this movie. I think it's one of the more interesting ones. Again, there's spoilers here. In this one, we're following, I think, 15 years after the original movie, and there's the killings have happened again, and we're following the main three original cast members of Sydney, Dewey, and Gail, and now these killings have happened again. We also are starting to see this new group of teens. We see Sydney's niece or cousin, I think niece, as well in this. And for me, I think that it was, I don't know, I just feel like I didn't enjoy it as much. And while I did like the killer reveal, I found it a bit, I don't know. I don't really know. It is the one that hyped up more of the gore and stuff like that, which I don't mind. I actually like that they went a little bit further. I do like how crazy Jill goes in the third act. I feel like the movie just goes on too long, and for me, it just was a disconnect. I don't know. It's just something about it I didn't vibe with. I know that's not going to be a solid answer for some people, but for me, it just doesn't compare to some of the other ones on my list, and so let's get into that. So number 3 is going to actually be Scream 2022. So the new Scream, Scream 5, whatever you want to call it. I actually really enjoyed this one. Maybe it's the theater thing is why I enjoyed Scream 4 maybe a bit less. I didn't see Scream 4 in theaters. I just saw it one random, afternoon. And I have only seen Scream 4 once. I've only seen Scream 2022 once as well in theaters, but maybe the theater experience boosted up for me a bit more, having that experience in theaters. And this is the only Scream movie I've seen in theaters, being as I was like too young to have seen any of the other ones in theater. So maybe that is playing into the factors here, because it was really enjoyable to see this movie in theaters. I enjoyed the characters in this movie. I think that the sort of requel concept, it was really cool, them kind of being a sequel but also kind of a reboot to the franchise, and having this be kind of a starting point for more movies to come. I didn't mind that they kind of introduced some family ties to the older characters with these new teens. I think that they definitely hyped up the gore in this one, and I didn't mind the killer reveal either. I think it was really well done, and I really like the motivation of the killers here, as well as their commentary and their meta-ness of this movie as well. I just really like this movie. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Maybe after further viewings, this list might change, or even if I, watch Scream 4 for, again, this list may change. But for right now, Scream 2022 or Scream 5 is at my number 3 spot. All right, you guys, getting into my top 2. So my second place is going to go to Scream 2, actually. So you definitely know already by process of elimination what my number 1 is. But yes, Scream 2 is definitely up here for me because of the enjoyment I get out of this movie, and also there's a bit of nostalgia factor going into this as well. And this whole list is based on enjoyment, obviously. But yes, I really enjoy the whole sequel of Scream 2. I think the opening scene is one of the best ones. I think one of the most solid opening scenes of any of the Scream movies, save the first one. And I think that the returning cast, it does a really great job in this one. Sydney, Dewey, Gail, and Randy. I really enjoy seeing Randy again, even though, again, spoilers, he dies in this one. I like how they kind of play with your expectations with the too good boyfriend and, the friend. the best friend, as well as the like creepy college student, or kind of like uptight about movie college student that's like obsessed with movies and sequels and stuff. And I did not guess who the killer was in this one. And I think that's something that I definitely kind of saw coming a little bit in Scream 2022. I didn't mind it, but I definitely kind of saw one of the killers in Scream 2022, which I'm not going to say anything about that one because that one's brand new. But definitely for Scream 2, I think it was quite unexpected. I don't think you were possibly even able to figure that out, but you kind of were side-eyeing this reporter lady, but not that much that you were thinking that she was Billy's mother out for revenge. I definitely didn't see that coming. So I think they did a really good job with that. It's a classic motivation for the killer. Also, revenge. What better motivation is there for a ghost faced? I think some of the kills in this are pretty iconic, especially Cece getting thrown off of the sorority house. Randy, that one was very sad in the news van. So just some solid moments in this one. And again, like I said, there's definitely a nostalgia factor for this, but it plays up on the meta-ness. It plays up on the concept of a sequel being a sequel as well. It plays up on having a movie within a movie type of thing with the stab movies. So I just really think it started a snowball effect here because it definitely propelled them to do more movies, obviously. And I think that it overall is one that I just can pop in and really enjoy every single time and not get tired of it. So there you go. That's my number 2, which leaves number 1 to be Scream. Obviously, Scream is an iconic teen slasher movie. I mean, if Scream is not your number 1, I mean, come on. It's just so solid. It's definitely started this craze of like self-aware meta horror. And it might have been the first to do it, obviously, but it definitely kind of hyped it up to that different level. I mean, we even had New Nightmare before Scream, but I think this one just had a bit more success and mainstreamness to it. Definitely helped that it had big name like Drew Barrymore, obviously, who is killed off in the first like 10-15 minutes, which was an amazing opening scene. I mean, that opening scene on its own is so great. I know some people say it kind of peaks there, and I definitely can see what they're saying with that, but I think that it just adds to the legacy of this movie of how great that opening scene is with Drew Barrymore's character being killed within the first 10 minutes. It's definitely given that the psycho vibe, and of course it's calling back to other horror movies while doing that. The fact that the characters are all aware of horror movies and there's even horror movie buffs in this is just very very relatable, but also it just gives a certain amount of awareness to the movie and charm to the movie as well. The killer reveal is great. I mean, I think this one has the best killers or ghost face of all the movies. I think Billy is the most solid one in my opinion. He's the best ghost face to me, and I just absolutely love Stu's character. He is so funny, and he's probably like one of my favorite characters in the whole entire franchise. He's just so goofy, and it just fits so well because it's like he's like a real teen, but he just wants to do like cuckoo stuff, and he's such a follower. I just love him. He's so funny. And Matthew Lillard is obviously just perfect for this role, as well as all the other actors. Neve Campbell is great as Sydney. She's a really awesome final girl throughout the whole series, honestly, and in this particular one, definitely solidified herself as a really brave and brave and sufficient, final girl. Everybody in here just did a great job with their role, and I think this one is just so iconic that it couldn't go anywhere else but number 1. It's definitely one as a kid I was almost a little bit more afraid of. I don't know what it was about this one that scared me so much, but definitely I've grown to love it even more as I've gotten older. So yeah, it definitely solidified itself for me as my number 1, and it's definitely the best Scream movie of all the ones that are out. And who knows, we are supposedly getting a Scream 6 and even more like in this upcoming rebootish version that we're getting. So there's no telling what kind of movies we might be getting. We might get one that even surpasses the original. I don't know if we'll get to that, but you never know. And so, like I said, this series or this franchise has been so solid so far that I have faith. Like, even with the new one that just came out, I am definitely having faith in the new directors and writers and everything, that they'll continue to make good movies. So let's not jinx it. All right, you guys, so that is my Scream franchise ranking. What do you guys think? Let me know yours down below. Do you completely disagree with my list and think that I need to switch some movies around? Or do you, agree? What is your list? Let me know down below in the comment section. Yeah, this is going to end the video here, you guys. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. And I will check you out in the next video very, very soon. Stay safe. Adios.